Argument for the defendant, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I was unmuting. I apologize. So, Your Honor, I do know that these parties, obviously, I don't know what's going on between them, but I do know that they're not good for each other because she says the complete opposite. She says he hit her car. And when I look at the report, I don't see any witnesses, anything. I know the officers observed like the damage to the vehicle, but his front bumper is damaged, which would go with what she's saying, that he hit her car, but then he says, oh, she backed up on it. So I really don't know, Your Honor, what is going on between these parties. She says he hit her and with the car, tried to run her off the road. He says the opposite. So it sounds like he said, she said here. But I do know that it does not help my client that there is some history with these parties and these cases and these PPOs, against her. But I believe that say no contact for these parties. My client understands that. She doesn't want any contact. She was, this incident was at his home. They are for some reason always together. When he alleges he doesn't want to be with her, she doesn't want to be with him, but then yet they are. She's a lifelong resident. Respectfully asking the court to consider a high personal bond, absolutely no contact, and if the court is not inclined to do that without a tether, then we understand. She's looking for a job, so she's not employed, so technically she doesn't have to leave her house for anything if the court is comfortable with a house arrest and personal bond.
Thank you. The fact remains that, regardless of who said what, this defendant was under an order to stay away from this complainant. And we wouldn't be having this discussion if she had done that, if she had complied with a court order. And so her behavior tells me she either is not capable of or does not choose to comply with court orders that tell her to stay away from this defendant. And now I've got multiple PPOs causing me concern. And you apparently don't understand that when I'm speaking, you're not supposed to be talking.
I didn't have a PPO out for me to tell me to stay away from her.
That's clear to me that you didn't have a PPO at that time. That's why I asked the prosecutor's office about that specifically. What is clear to me is that you were under an order because of another pending case for malicious destruction of this complainant's property to stay away from him and his property. And despite that order, you were in proximity to him and his property. Whatever else happened, you broke the court's order to stay away from him and his property. And so apparently, the only way to keep this defendant away from this complainant is to keep her incarcerated. And so I'm going to honor the people's keep talking. Go ahead.
I would never go and see this man again. This is done. It felt like after this, when I seriously
Ms. Payne, I have to interrupt you, Ms. Payne. Everything you're saying right now kind of will be used against you. It's all part of the record. We said this during the interview. The court tried to tell you as well. Please don't interrupt the court. It's important that you listen to the orders, but I need to tell you to exercise your right to remain silent. We have prosecutors on and it's all part of the record. So anything you say right now is going to be harmful to you.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know I would never go see this man again because I don't want to go see this man again. But I never knew a PPO was out anyway because I went over there. If I knew something was domestic, I wouldn't keep on violating my rights because I don't want to keep going to jail. I have been in jail for 3 years for this man. And y'all think I still want to be here and still want to go back and still get house arrest and still getting charged for this man?
Well, let's see. You've been in jail for 3 years, yet there you were with him 2 days ago. 3 years versus 2 days. So suddenly you've come to your senses. I don't know. Bond is set at $75,000 cash. GPS house arrest before she leaves the jail. If she makes the bond, there is to be no contact. One more court order that you are to have no contact. with him or attempted contact with him. We'll see if this one works.
It will.
Next court date is a bond review hearing next Monday. You better be quiet so you can hear when to show up for court. If you're able to get out, March 4th for the bond review on Monday. March 7th for probable cause conference, March 14th for preliminary examination, both of those in front of Judge Giles, the 4th in front of McConico. You're not to have any contact or attempted contact with the complainant, nor are you to go to his residence or place of abode. And you are not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of your bond. And if you're able to make bond, there will be no driving. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Why do I gotta pay the highest bond and they acting like I can pay it? So I can't get out of here until
By now, I guess it's gonna take a lot more explaining. Please go on.
so I can't get out of here until that bond paid.
Correct.
Can somebody explain it? Ms. Martin? What? What?
It's $75,000 cash, not sure too. It's a $75,000 cash bond. Your name, ma'am?
Good evening, my name is Armia Martin.
All right, Ms. Martin, you've got some traffic misdemeanors where you missed your court dates. When you missed your court dates, judge signed to those cases, issued warrants and set bonds. I'm gonna set the warrants aside today and give you personal bonds on the tickets. You do have the right to remain silent. You are being recorded. Anything you say could be used against you in the future. You also have the right to driving while license suspended. Ticket P1394056 alleges October 30th of 2022 at I-94 and 75, driving while license suspended and no insurance. Ticket number Z8086521 alleges November 24th of 2021 in the area of Linden and Hubble. This is an OWI. Then we've got ticket number 173530543 alleging May 10th, 2017 in the area of Buena Vista and Petoskey, unregistered or untitled vehicle. Again, personal bonds on all of these. Next court date in front of Judge Wagner, March 28th, 2024 for pretrial. Now calling case number 230-598-2501, People of the State of Michigan versus Ariel Martin, counsel.
Good afternoon, Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Trustee Schreiber, on behalf of Ms. Martin, who has formal reading understands her constitutional rights, it says.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf, and I'll hear arguments as to bond.
The people have no objection to a $5,000 personal bond in this matter.
Thank you.
No objections, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bond will be set at $5,000 personal. Next court date is going to be March 8th for probable cause conference, March 15th for preliminary examination. You are not to purchase or possess any illegal substances. Can you hear me, Ms. Martin? I realize there's quite a bit of commotion behind you.
The girl yelling, I really can't, I ain't got my glasses on, I really can't.
All right, thank you. EDC, we're going to need to do something about the noise level so Ms. Martin can hear her arraignment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Martin, can you hear me any better now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Your bond is set at $5,000.
Argument.
Judge, Ms. Payne's 27. Her and Mr. Tyler have a little bit of history, you know, back and forth. They're exes. It's a relationship situation. You know, Judge, no contact is definitely going to be the condition. I know it's already a condition. I think 75,000 is excessive. I think it's high. I'm asking for a personal, Judge. Now, saying all that, Judge, I understand she's 27. She's out looking for employment. But you know, we talked earlier last week. She's not, her and Mr. Tyler done. You know, they're done. He's still comes around, tries to come around, but the relationship is done. So she has no reason to see him anymore, no reason to engage with him anymore. And I don't think she's a true danger, Judge. We're talking about an FA, which is a 4-year felony, and I'm not trying to downplay it. I know she's got a DV case with Mr. Tyler previously, and they've been through some things together, but they're no longer together, so it's no reason for them to have any more contact. He actually came at her on this particular day, and I think there may have been some retaliation based on him attacking her, Judge, but that's going to all come out later. But again, right now, no contact, tether, house arrest, I think can provide a good solution to this right now.
Prosecutor.
Judge, this doesn't happen too often, but I actually had this case in arraignment. And I asked the magistrate to deviate off of what would normally be given on an FA. I actually asked for the $75,000 cash. The Honorable Magistrate Ramsey, he ended up giving me that for these reasons. One, there are 2 ongoing cases in 36D with this defendant. Both of them have to do with MDOP, one a felony, one a misdemeanor. In one of those cases, there is a black and white strict restriction of no contact with the address or the complaining witness in that case. And oh, by the way, it's the same complaining witness in this case. With all due respect to Mr. Reagan, he says that this complaining witness came at this defendant. She came to his house. And then she proceeded to hit his car. And then she proceeded to use her motor vehicle, allegedly, to run him over. But that's actually where it just starts, Judge. So we have the 2 ongoing cases. We have the allegations. Let's get into the recent history of this individual with this complaining witness. Now, I do appreciate Mr. Reagan in his rendition, of the relationship between her and him. But we have that domestic violence conviction last year in February, where she's serving 2 years probation. She already served jail time with a restriction, do not contact or go near this complaining witness. And then, Judge, subsequent to the February conviction, we have an operating while impaired, where she ended up having to spend more time in jail. And then in December, Judge, we have a conviction of an R&O against a police officer, and she ended up spending time in jail. And oh, by the way, Judge, either while she was being held in jail for the DV or the OWI, she ended up assaulting a jail employee and then subsequently was convicted of that assault. Very assaultive right now, Judge. Fortunately, this complaining witness ended up surviving this, got out of the way of a moving vehicle. I think there's only one reason why you're trying to hit somebody with a moving vehicle, and we could all surmise. So with all of that being said, Judge, being on probation with the restriction, being on an ongoing case with the restriction, we feel as though this defendant does pose a clear and present danger to the complaining witness, and respectfully, we're just going to ask you to continue this bond.
Judge, there are 2 sides to every story. Mr. Vincent wasn't present at the alleged incident, so he's just speaking from something he's reading. There are 2 sides to every story, Judge, and it's a little more than that. Whether she was at his place, I don't, talking to her, there's some things that might have happened. Should she have been there?
But is there a no contact provision with the other case that she shouldn't have been there?
I don't have any information on the other case, Judge.
Okay. I'm sorry. Continue, Mr. Reagan.
Yeah, Judge, but I'm just saying there's 2 sides to every story.
Right.
And, she's going to have her day in court, and she's going to be able to listen to the evidence, or she's going to be able to get a copy of the evidence and go over with her lawyer and fight this case. It's a little bit more that I know, Judge, about the whole situation, but I don't, want to argue the whole thing right now. So it'll all come out. But I'm just saying there's 2 sides to every story. It's not always what the investigators report says.
All right. Well, and that's true. The problem right now with Miss Payne is that
she's a little aggressive with her case.
There's a lot of situations. There's just a lot of jail assault, this assault, a lot of destruction of property allegations, a lot of felonious activities that deal with violence. And I'm not sure if anger management was required in some of the other stuff, but there seems to be some anger issues possibly. But these are mere allegations. The bond is $75,000. That's an unaffordable bond. The bond is high for this type case. There does seem to be some aggravating circumstances with Miss Payne right now. Miss Payne kind of is, there's already been a judge or a magistrate has already told her to stay away from this address and this complaining witness, and that didn't seem to stop her. Whether he comes around earlier and now she's at the house, she has a no contact provision that she's not abiding by. With that being said, court is going to reduce to $75,000. Is it cash or cash surety?
Cash.
Go ahead. Cash. Okay. It's $25,000 cash. House arrest. She can leave for medical, court appointments, court appearances, and no contact provision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk. Send a check to the council. Let him know he can't be in here with a hoodie on. He might need. He gonna need.
Judge.
I think that's it for me, Your Honor.
Who's waiting? What?
Oh.
That's all.